Hello, my name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to my third indie book review for the year 2020. Will I stop counting them at some point? Probably, but I'm really proud of myself for getting 3 books read in the first week of the year. So today I am reviewing my very first 5-star for 2020, and that is This Time by Azaaa Davis. This is the first book in the Nadira Holden series. I believe the second book is out and the third book is coming. But this is an urban fantasy series all about a woman named Nadira who, in the first book, crawls out of her own grave. And as far as beginning a book, crawling out of your own grave is a great way to start. Years ago, in 1993, the year of my birth, not that it means anything, but I just appreciated that year, Nadira gave the ultimate sacrifice and was killed in the line of duty, killing this big evil demon king. However, not very long after she sacrificed herself, the demons revealed themselves to the humans and portrayed themselves as the victims at the hands of the evil demon hunters. So, when Nadira comes back, resurrected many years later, demons are now just walking around in our part of society. And you might think that, oh, well, maybe this is a tale of learning that your enemy isn't actually your enemy and the demon hunters were wrong. But no, because Nadira was brought back for a reason, although she doesn't know who did it, because the director of Orion and her father has gone missing and they're pretty sure demons are behind it. The problem is, Nadira's pretty sure she doesn't want to do anything with Children of Orion. She spent her entire life being raised by them to basically be a killer. And when she was a very young and fragile child and very ill, she was basically told she'd be nothing if she wasn't a warrior. Years later, she managed to become that warrior with the help of these strange injections that the doctor calls vitamins, but she's not so sure that's what they are. So the story revolves around Nadira essentially grappling with the fact that the world doesn't look like the way it was when she left it. Girlfriend has no idea what a smartphone is. Everyone that was her comrade and her peer and her colleague has aged up while she is still 22. And now her father is missing. And she's pretty sure these injections are connected to something more deep about herself that she doesn't know. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that very deep thing about herself she doesn't know is, but the reveal was absolutely fantastic. For a second there, I was like, well, this kind of came out of left field, but then once they explain some things and she does some more research, it really makes sense and it adds this whole extra layer. And I wish that I was talking about the second book because then I would feel no reservations in going in depth as to why I love this so much. Because it is a giant portion of the book, but I don't want to spoil it because, again, it was so perfect. So, let's focus more on Nadira's emotional standing. I am a big fan of this kind of setup where, in speculative fiction, where a character is kind of out of time. Maybe they've, gone through a wormhole or something, but they come back to their time and everyone else has aged up and they're the same. Kind of like the TV show Manifest, if you've ever seen that. This idea that these people in these places should be familiar to her, but time has changed them and they don't, and she hasn't changed at all. And those emotions and that grief of her friends are technically still alive, but they're not the friends she knew, and things have happened with romantic interests, and that part was heartbreaking, but her emotions and her grief that can't really be total grief because they're still there, but it's still grief, and the complexities that come along with that was so beautifully done. At no point was I ever like, well, this is over the top or angsty, because yes, they were very deep emotions, but you felt them. And Nadira starts focusing a lot on her upbringing and the fact that she basically wasn't given any other option besides being this warrior leader that everyone wanted her to be because of her director father. And she comes back and she's like, I don't think I want to keep doing this. I already sacrificed my life. Why do I have to keep back and keep fighting? It was so perfect. I loved her. She's my favorite protagonist of a while. And also, in case you didn't catch from the cover, this is an Own Voices diverse book. Diverse book. Both our protagonist and the author are Black. And I love how Nadira is in dreads the entire time. She pulls him up, does him down. They end up laying in a puddle of her own blood at one point. But that demon hunter life. But it was so well done. And that subplot that I can't talk about because spoilers was also well done. But suffice to say, there was an epic battle with the evil prince, demon prince, whatever, and just a lot of battles. Nadira is incredibly adept and competent and resourceful, and I'm just in love with her, and I low-key have who I'm shipping her with. And I don't usually ship in stories, but I really feel like they could end up together. Whether or not they'll do well together is up in the air. But the last part that I really want to talk about, and it's again another spoiler, and this is the problem, I apparently just love big twists that are well done. There is a gigantic spoiler, not a gigantic spoiler, it is a gigantic spoiler, a gigantic twist at the very end of the book. And when I mean the very end, I mean like the last 2 words. I was sitting there going, like literal, reading on my very old iPad 2, jaw drop, staring at the iBooks app like, oh, she did not do that. It was great. I loved it. Azaaa Davis, if you want to send that sequel my way for review, I will 100% do that because this book was just fantastic. And I don't know much more to say than that because, again, that gigantic twist in the center of the book that adds this whole extra layer and this whole extra subplot can't be talked about without spoiling it. But if you love this kind of genre, this kind of hardcore Buffy the Vampire Slayer-esque action with a little bit less cheese, there's not quite as many like sarcastic quips. Nadira is too busy being a badass to be worried about sounding witty. She's just gonna kill the demons. She doesn't need to have a repartee with them. But if you like that kind of thing, this is definitely right up your alley. While the demons are still an issue and still foes, there is a little bit of, well, maybe not all of them. There's a little bit of that. Yes, we have a big bad demony thing going on, but there also might be some that aren't so bad. And what does that mean? And things, yes, are still bad, but are they quite as black and white as she thought? So if you like that kind of moral grayness, which I adore that. I also adore, like I said before, the protagonist out of time sense and a lot of deep emotions. This is by no means a lighthearted book, but it is a fantastic book. It is my first 5-star of 2020, and I am so happy that it is. I am so happy that I decided to read this one out of all the other ones, and also I'm really happy that I got so many done because I still got so much more to go. So, if you are an indie author and you're interested in a review like this one, please let me know. I will have my email down in the description below. Down there will also be my review policy. Please give that a read through. It answers a lot of questions and saves us a lot of time. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.